Hi friends, it's nice to see you here again. So, what do you have to do to prepare for the Chevening interview? The first thing is exercise, exercise, exercise. So, what to exercise? So, the best way to prepare for the interview and do exercises is to ask questions based on what you have written and said in your essays, as well as what kind of information you have provided in your CV. Be careful, it's not just about the exercise that you have to say and the information that you have to provide with every answer. There are many ways, tips, and tips to better respond to every question in the right way possible. That's why you may have heard some response methods from other Cheveners and other people who are talking about the interview, which we will go through in this video. Actually, there are many answering methods. For example, STAR is very famous among the people when it comes to essay writing as well as going through the Chevening interview or any other scholarship interviews. The Chevening Secretariat on the screen you can see talked about using the STAR method while you are during the interview to respond to the questions. So what is a STAR way of responding to questions? STAR here, as you can see, is a situation, task, action, and result. What should you use instead and why you shouldn't use it? That's something that we will cover in depth in this video. So stick with me until the end of this video. So what is a STAR method of responding? Let's go one by one. First, it's the situation. What is the situation? Situation is like setting the stage for the problem, the setting, the context that you would like to talk about. And what else? You describe that problem, that key thing that you have full focus on it very clearly. For example, you are asked the question to talk about why do you want to become a doctor? So if you want to respond to that in a STAR way, the first thing what you have to do is you set the stage to respond the problem, the main reason why you want to what? To become a doctor, because you saw a problem or something in your community. Other thing is task. What's task? So task is to discuss the goal or the task set out for you regarding to that problem. For example, you want to become a doctor. The situation was that you had a problem, lack of experts, lack of doctors, whatever in your community, and your task is to get involved in becoming a doctor and studying and providing back to your community. The next thing, which is action, is that you explain specific actions to handle the situation. This, of course, requires in-depth description of your action plan, how you want to do it, how do you want to become a doctor, how do you want to return back to that community that has problem, for example, healthcare, lack of doctor, whatever. And it's all about the action, the verb. What do you want to do in order to solve the problem? So you really need to spend a lot of time in this part of the STAR method to clearly define your mission, your part, in order to do something for your community, your company, whatever it might be. Then the result. So the result is you explain what is the outcome, or if it's something in the past that you have done, for example, leadership question or a management question, and you responded using the STAR way, then you say, okay, this is the outcome of what I have done. So you stated the problem, the situation, the task, your action, and the result. So you have to be very clear. You have to quantify everything and provide statistics to really show that it's really your work. This was the shortest information I could provide regarding the STAR method. If you want to have full explanation about the situation, task, action, results, the definition, the examples, and many different examples and explanations, I highly encourage you to enroll to my course. In my course, I talk in details with many examples about STAR and other answering methods. First of all, a STAR is not the only responding method or the answering method, whatever you call it. There are many other ways that, okay, it's completely out of the coverage of this video. And that is why I have designed a complete course on explaining STAR and all other methods. And the reason which I personally don't recommend using STAR method both in answering your interview questions as well as writing your essays, STAR method, is because it's pretty much time consuming and it's a lot. It's like 4 points or 4 sentences that you have to think about. So it doesn't mean that a response should always be 4. Sometimes in order to explain something, you have to provide more sentences for each part of it. For a situation, you have to provide 2-3 sentences, and for task, action, result, that takes a lot of time. And in the interview, you don't have time. Even in the beginning of the interview, you will be asked to be concise, to be sharp, to be to the point. Correct? So, for example, the reason why I don't recommend STAR method is, let me give you an example. For example, I say we had problem with education in our community, and we had lack of schools. The young generation, the adults, the kids, they didn't have a primary school to go and start their education. And they were too small to travel to other cities because the nearest school was, I don't know, 20 kilometers away or something. And because we didn't have a good transportation system, so the kids have to walk all the way to the university, which is not feasible. So this took me a lot of time just to explain the situation. Now I go to the task. I, together with my friends and community, we were responsible for all of these improvements that we should provide for our community, because I am a representative of my village in the village council or in our province, whatever you name it, and I had to do something. So this was the task. You have to provide a few sentences. And now we go to the action. So in order to resolve this problem, we started to write proposals for NGOs, for organizations. We contacted UNICEF, Habitat, UNHCR. We contacted the embassies in our country, the government, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Infrastructures, Ministry of Economy, and we even wrote letters to the president in order to complain that the kids in our village, they don't have a school in our community, and we have to build them. Luckily, we got responses from many of the embassies and the organizations, although the government, for example, didn't help us a lot. But the process was very complicated. So starting from the beginning, responding back to our proposals and writing proposals back to these embassies and organizations took a lot of time until we got the approval from these organizations that they are going to donate money for us. And then we started to work with the government to get the legal work and paperwork and the confirmations and permission from the government to start to build a school in our community, because it's not just about the building, it's also about the teachers, the instructors, the administration and everything. And that took us a lot of time until to fix it. Finally, okay, so still I have to talk more and more to get to the point. So what's the result? So I skipped that part. It's not finished, but I don't want to waste your time. So the result. So now, luckily, with my hard work and community's hard work, we have a school in our community, which in our school, there are around 5,000, 2,000, 1,000 students currently studying, aged 7 to 14 years old. And we are so happy that we have this school, but it didn't come easily. It came with a lot of sacrifice and time and commitment. This took me several parts to talk, correct? First thing, I don't have the STAR method just like I have here on the screen. When I'm responding to these questions in the interview, I have to, at the same time, think the way how I answer it, STAR. So I have to talk about the situation, the task, the action, the result. 4 things. Sometimes, for me personally, it's difficult to think about the way how I'm responding and at the same time think about what I'm going to say, the content of my speech, all this story that I have to build from the beginning to the end to explain, which is not feasible, which is time consuming. I spend a lot of time just on one question or one example. Actually, this was not a question, this was an example. So think of it if I would respond the whole question using the STAR method. I like it. It's good to be in a chronological order. It's good to say and describe something in a story method. I highly and always say, maybe you've seen in my mentorship programs and my courses and here on my YouTube, that it's always good to be a good storyteller. But using this method concretely, I don't like it. But there are many other methods which I would like to tell you to try instead of using the STAR method. And they are very simple. They are not time consuming. You can just easily do it without like memorizing situation, task, action, plan, result, whatever. So what do you have to do in order to do whether this mock interview or other methods that I'm going to tell you? The first thing that you have to master any technique, any method, is to exercise. And to exercise, you need to prepare for the interview. You have to do a lot of mock interviews. Mock interviews, they help you a lot. You can do it with your friends, your family, your professors, your brother, family, anybody. But if you don't have those circles to help you with mock interviews, you can go to sirathaidari.com, my website, where I have provided several courses for everything. For mock interview, there's of course a complete course from beginning to end of the interview period. For public speaking, from being confident, for responding, all the methods. There are around six methods that I'm talking in my course, mock Chevening interview course. This is an amazing course. I have put actually over 1 year of hard work on this, all of them, especially on the Chevening interview course. That's going to help you. For mock interviews, if you want to do mock interviews with me in my website, you can book mock interviews with me, and I can help you, of course, ask you questions, provide you feedback, and yeah, help you. Like last year, I helped hundreds of people. In my website, I can also help you with Chevening application courses. For those of people who are watching me right now and you got rejection letters, or unfortunately you are getting, for example, rejection letters, I have a complete course which you can check. The link may not be active now until the interview period is over. But if you are rejected, for example, those of you who are rejected 2 times, 3 times, one of my Facebook friends, followers sent a message and said he or she applied for 4 times and was rejected, unfortunately. So that doesn't mean that you just submit the same essay, the same CV and everything the same. No, you're going to be rejected again. So that's why I have this course where we can start from the beginning. But you have to start that course like maybe in 1 or 2 months, because in that course I'm talking about, or my mentorship program, I'm talking to how you can start to find internship if you don't have experience, how you can be involved in community work, in volunteer work, and philanthropy, and so many other things, so that by the end of the application period, like in November 2023, you are going to have at least 7-8 months of experience. So your CV will be upgraded, not updated, upgraded. Your essay will be upgraded. We will talk about so many important tips and tricks and so many experiences that you can get involved in order to build a better essay. It doesn't matter only about your past experiences, but also we are going to work on, for example, courses. Maybe you have good experiences, but your courses are not good. The selection of the courses are not clear. You are not clear. What do you want to become? Your vision is not clear. Your mission is not clear. That's something that I can help you. So there are many courses. You can book mock interviews and consultations with me, and I will be happy to help. What I cover in these courses, we are going to be talking about your education vision to clear or make clear your vision, the career vision, what kind of career plans you should have or you might have in the future, leadership and networking. There are many platforms that we can work together to make you a good leader and also expand your network. Education background, of course, you have what you have, but the good thing, if we start early these mentorship programs, and if you take these essay writing courses or application courses, there are many tips and tricks that can help you gain new skills and be part of so many new educational platforms that will help you stand out and be shortlisted. Career background, so we will talk about career vision is like your future, career background is the past that what you have. At least you can change it a little bit and expand it and upgrade it for the next if you are watching this video, for example, in February until November, or maybe in the future. And also we can work on to provide you some achievements and experiences, so that these achievements and experiences can make you stand out of the crowd and be shortlisted for the interview in the future. And of course, if you're in the interview period, go to the next ones. And for those of you who are applying, who are shortlisted and you are applying this year for the Chevening interview, the mock interviews that I'm conducting, the key points that are very important that I emphasize very much for you, and when you are doing the mock interviews or when you're doing it with me, is to, in your mock interviews and your questions, you have to be very, very clear, to the point when you are responding anything. You have to be concise. You have to classify all the things that you have. It shouldn't be vague things. You have to link the plans. For example, if you are talking about your future, you have to link it to your education. You have to link it to your networks. You have to link it to your career plans. And education, of course, you have to be clear what do you want to study. Some of the people that get rejected, maybe everything is good, but their education vision or plan is not clear. The master degree that they have chosen and the career plan that they don't match. That's why they are not selected. The network, sometimes you don't have the right networks, or maybe you have the right networks, but you didn't know how to write it clearly in your essays. That's why you're rejected. That's why I'm recommending you to take those essay writing courses so that, I can help you how to connect and write the best points that you have in your networks. Leadership is another important thing and experience actually that you should have, and you should be able to demonstrate it. Maybe you have good leadership skills, but you couldn't demonstrate it and write it clearly in your essay. But when it comes to the interview, you have to be a leader. You have to show yourself when you are answering and responding to questions regarding leadership. And creativity, that is another important thing. Everything about the interview is creativity. So when you want to be concise, you want to be clear, you want to link plans, network, education, future vision, background, you have to have creativity in order to link everything together. Okay, once again, I'm trying to provide a little bit more information about the courses and the mock interview that you can find on my website. The first thing is that there are a combination of things that you have to do. For example, for those of you who have come this far and you are preparing for the interview, you have to know that around 60,000 people applied and only around 6,000 are shortlisted. So you should be very happy and proud of coming thus far. And I congratulate you on that. And you have to be careful that you have to, from those 6,000, only around 2,000 will be accepted. So it's the time to invest your time, and it's time to sacrifice some things. For example, cutting from some social media and other things and concentrating very much, of course, on your Chevening. And then you might incur some expenses, which if I would be in your position, I would definitely do it, because there's a combination of things that you have to do and you have to collect and think about them and improve them and be able to clarify them and explain them and answer them with the best way possible. I call them like circle to win. You have to be clear with your goal. You have to combine and understand all your networks. You have to know your career, the why you are a doctor, why you are an engineer, why you are a lawyer, why you are a teacher, professor. And your education, you have to understand what is education, what's your past education, what will be your future education. And your leadership, you have to not just describe what leadership is in theory from the books, but you have to be a leader. You have to find all those little parts that you are a leader. If you are a very experienced leader that you are have, I don't know, 1,000 subordinates, people working for you, then good luck, congratulations. But for the rest of us who are not very good, who are in the beginning of our leadership journey, you have to click tiny, like the atomic book habits or the atomic habits. You have to combine every one of them with one another to be, a strong person, a strong leader. And also you have to know why you are studying in the UK, why master's degree. So you have to know all of them, and you have to be able to respond to all questions when you are doing these mock interviews and exercising, preparing yourself for the actual interview. And the good thing that I have in my course, I'm explaining each one of them in details: the goals, the network, career, education, leadership, why you study in the UK. And I explain everything in details. That's why if you register to my course, you will definitely learn a lot from these things. And when you're doing mock interviews, no matter if you're doing mock interview with your family, friends, professors, colleagues, peers, or me online, these are the things that you have to think about. These are the things that you have to pay attention. Mock interview, like the beginning I said, it's not just about ask question and answer it. No, it's about the methods that you have to answer. It's the story that you say, the chronological order that you have to respond to each question, the things that you have to know, and the links that you have to weld things together. That's something that the person who is conducting the interview, he or she should know this. And that's what I am promising all my mentees and everybody who are asking for consultations, I tell these are the things that I pay full attention. And of course, if you are booking a mock interview with me, I am sharing some PDF files for you, because I want you to first go through them, learn them, study them, think about them, and then we do the mock interview, because I just don't want you to come to the mock interview unprepared and you waste your time, I waste my time, and there's no benefit, and then we think of doing it second or third, which is, I don't recommend it. But if you study all those materials that I provide you, it takes like maybe 1 day or 2 days, and then you come to the mock interview, you will learn things practically, like theory and practice, and then you are prepared, and you can learn the techniques from me, and you can do it and practice it on your own. So finally, the last thing that you need to do, no matter what, is to repeat the exercises. Repeat and repeat and repeat. Repeat doing mock interviews, repeat reading your essay, your CV, talking about them, explaining them in simple terms and in simple ways. And yeah, stay positive, be prepared for the interview. And if you take my courses, you will definitely, learn a lot of things. It's not just the things that I said in this video. These are not the only things that are important for the interview. There are a ton of things. Of course, you have worked for several months to prepare for Chevening. You know how tough was the essay until now, and of course the same toughness is already there for the next of the journey until you are awarded the Chevening scholarship. Still, I wish you good luck, and anybody who is watching this video, I wish you best of luck and success, and I wish you to join our community of Chevening alumni. See you in the next video.